recording in progress.
Right.
I realized we kind of forgot to do an intro last week.
Well, shall we do an intro then? What's
Yeah, I just remembered I was gonna say thank you for all the nice comments people were leaving.
yeah, it's very pleasing, isn't it? Very pleasing. Carry on leaving comments and uh send us your opinions and
Send us all your
yeah,
opinions.
send us all your
Any opinion.
any opinions.
You hate me? Say it.
Right.
I don't care.
Right. Music.
We're
Maestro.
talking about music.
Go on then. You start.
Do you have a favorite musician?
Oh, good grief. No, no, I don't. I've got loads.
Out of those,
Out of those. Oh, no.
okay, good
Lots of
start.
lots of people that I really like. Uh, Leonard Cohen,
Mm-hmm.
James Taylor, all sorts of people that I've forgotten. Joni Mitchell. Uh, oh, yeah, loads of people I've forgotten. But
These are all great choices.
my my music is in the 60s to the 80s, I would say. Most
Mm-hmm.
70s. But there's so many great singers from that era.
Do you think I will keep the same music taste I have now?
Well, your music taste is, I would say probably, but your music taste is uh stretches to a lot of the people that I like as well, because you like a lot of old music.
I have a very expansive music taste,
Yeah. Yeah.
if I'm using the word expansive right. Just a lot.
I'm desperately thinking of other musicians that I like, but my mind's gone blank.
My favorite band is a band called the Front Bottoms,
Yeah.
and they do Midwest emo.
Mm.
That's debated whether they're in that genre,
They
but I
are,
don't want
they are,
whether they're in.
they are amusing, yes, but
No,
they are amusing, but I can't take them seriously, really.
no, neither can I. They're American.
That's
They're they can't sing.
whereas Joni Mitchell is Canadian, of course, and also Neil Young.
That looks amazing.
Adore Neil Young. He's Canadian as well. Uh, Nick Cave,
Of course,
Bad Seeds. He's
my childhood favorite music
yeah,
for some reason,
yeah.
because
We
I was forced to listen to it.
used to play a lot of it and go and see him very often.
We are just listing things now, and by
No,
we I mean
stop listening.
you.
So we should actually discuss music. How can we discuss music?
What do you think makes music good?
That's very different for different people. For me, the best music comes from a lyricist and a guitar, right? A man who
From the
or a
soul.
woman who sits down and writes their own songs straight from the heart, stream of consciousness. Sid Barrett. I love Sid Barrett. Like Pink Floyd, but love Sid Barrett. What a man he was.
What a guy. Um,
Yeah, the singer-songwriter who writes their own lyrics, writes from the heart. The problem is with music, you get bands and people that are young and keen and heartbroken and raw and edgy, and from that comes great poetry, great lyrics. As
can
soon,
I say a controversial opinion?
well, maybe so, but as soon as they start to get fat and middle aged and make plenty of money out of the music scene, They lose their edge. They lose their writing ability. They try to force themselves to write instead of not being able to stop writing because they feel they're so emotionally raw.
You know, you're a horrible listener.
Pardon?
You're a terrible listener.
I'm a terrible listener. I'm sorry, Dave. I'll shut up now and let you start.
I don't like Nirvana, and I know that's a band you like,
I do like Nirvana, yes, a lot.
but I
I love
just
dancing to Nirvana. Yeah, I know it. I know it. It
can't
takes
get behind them.
now, but
I
well,
love Hole.
I'm not really familiar with them.
Courtney Love's band,
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
which people are always like, "Oh, you're just saying that because you're a crazy blue hair pronoun feminist," and no, I just don't really. I just don't like Nirvana, and Hole is better.
When I hear
Sue me.
what's not to like, you know.
Um, the fact that it doesn't sound good.
Well, that's just that. I got to put that down to as your opinion because I think it sounds fabulous. It's music that used to put electricity through me straight away as soon as it came on. I used to bounce across the dance floor, and that was it. I was going wild.
That's fine. I just eh
Eh,
eh.
move on.
What
Let's move on.
what do you think of celebrities in the music?
Not interested in celebrities at all.
I know, but what do you think around the
More of a
culture
celebrity
around it?
person is, the less they have to tell other people.
Yeah, I was just thinking because of the whole Kurt Cobain, Courtney Love thing.
Well, I don't think Kurt Cobain was around long enough to become a celebrity. He would never have accepted celebrity, John.
He was a celebrity.
He was a
If there's
well-known musician. I don't think he was ever a
He was
celebrity.
a
He wasn't.
celebrity.
He wasn't invited to posh uh, celebrity parties or
Yes, he was.
around with the celebrity set or anything.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't. He
He
was
did.
a completely out of his mind, creative junkie,
Yeah,
lunatic.
he was also a celebrity. Where do you think he got the drug money?
Well, from selling records.
Yeah, exactly. He was
He
in a very highly
might,
successful band. He was a
might,
celeb.
he might,
There's pictures of him on red carpets at events. He's a celebrity.
yeah, all right, fair enough. He might meet your definition of a celebrity, but he certainly doesn't meet mine. I wouldn't.
What's yours?
I mean, Neil Young must have outsold him 100 times. Uh,
Yeah, but he
but,
was.
but I wouldn't call Neil Young a celebrity.
What do you define as a celebrity then?
Well, somebody that's always on the red carpet, somebody that's there at the opening of a box of chocolates, somebody who takes every opportunity to get publicity for themselves and to make money. These people that charge money to be so that people can be photographed with them, that's the sort of person I would class celebrity.
He could have done things like that. You didn't know him.
No, I didn't know him. No, I never got a chance to see him because I was just really getting into him when he committed suicide.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say about that. What do you think about that? Because loads of people, because I was talking about Courtney Love, and loads of people were like, she killed him. She killed him.
I don't think so.
No, it's just not true, is it?
Just not true. No.
It's the misogynists out there that are like, well,
If it's the
that's the nearest
there's
woman.
always
It
there's
was her
always
fault.
there's always theorists out there, isn't there? People who have theories
Yeah,
of something that was hidden or something but what most people don't know is etc. etc. It's all
yeah.
generally goofballs. I think that if anybody had killed him, the authorities would have found out about it,
Yeah,
unless it was all covered up.
because people really hated her. and like they act as if
Who
you
really?
know
Who are the people?
Kurt Cobain, huh?
Who are the people that really hated her?
The Nirvana fans.
Because she was taking their idol away.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah, well,
And they're like, oh, he wrote all her songs anyway. The blah 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 blah. And I just think people love to hate women.
no, it's got nothing to do with hating women.
I think it
Everything
sometimes does.
to do with jealousy and having your idol uh, coveted by somebody else, having your idol taken
Yeah.
away from you. It's got. I mean, if it was, if Kurt Cobain had been gay and it was another man that took him away, the hatred would have been just the same.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's the way people hate. That's the thing. When they're like, she was crazy.
She was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, she was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
She's still pretty crazy.
But they're like, he hated her. Why would he marry her? Sorry, I'm just rambling now. This is quite boring, everything I'm saying. Um, but yeah. Um, what's your favorite band you've seen live? I lied on the last podcast, by the way, by accident. I said I spent £60 on gig tickets when I didn't. They were 30 and I bought two.
Ah, that's why he spent 60 then.
I would just like to correct that.
Favorite band that I've seen live. Oh,
Got confused.
that's so difficult. One of them certainly was Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention at Nebworth. That was brilliant. But I saw lots of other good bands that day. The Tubes,
Never heard of them.
they were on with Frank Zappa. They were on before Frank Zappa. They were the other headliner, really. They were pegged slightly below Zappa, actually, but they were interesting. But Zappa was amazing. Zappa and the Mothers of Invention were amazing. Who else have I seen who's blown me away? Oh, believe it or not, The Cure. The Cure at Glastonbury were really good. I really enjoyed The Cure being in the.
Boys don't cry.
I really
Hmm.
enjoyed that. Yeah, but I mean, I've seen all sorts of. I'm trying to rack my brains to think of something else I've seen that really impressed me. I used to go to Reading Rock Festival a lot, and they had huge lineups there, and the Waterboys.
The
You
water
you were
boys.
with me at the Waterboys at the Green Man Festival on the Thursday night.
I don't remember it.
No, you were probably asleep, but that
You've
was
seen
good. As was Patti Smith again on the
I
Thursday.
remember that slightly.
A different one because you and I sat outside and watched it on a screen, didn't we? I've seen Patti Smith before. I saw Patti Smith at Reading Rock Festival many,
Mhm.
but that was brilliant. That was brilliant. That's somebody else I've seen that. I mean, I've seen lots and lots of what are now classed as classic bands.
You've seen Radiohead,
I've seen Radiohead, saw Radiohead at Bridlington.
one of
That was
my favorite
yeah,
bands.
they're a brilliant band. They're a brilliant band. But you see, they get. Is it burnout or do they just become complacent?
Don't know.
When you start, you write songs in the same way as I write poetry. When I am really
I
emotionally
haven't
moved,
seen any of your poetry.
no, well, I'll show you some. Uh,
Okay.
when you're really, my poetry isn't serious. It's not like a serious song.
Hmm.
Tongue in cheek. Some of it's serious, I suppose. When you're moved by raw emotion and you're feeling really angry or really edgy or something, you can produce brilliant art, right?
Yeah.
Musicians, when they're young and they're hungry, do that, right? The good ones. You look at some of the early Radiohead stuff. We look at some of the early.
The new Radiohead stuff is good though.
I know it is. It's excellent. It's excellent. But as they get more complacent and they go from writing songs when they are emotionally charged to writing songs when somebody tells them to for an album,
Mm,
they become more stilted in their
yeah.
use. I don't think it works. Somebody said to me once, a band I knew, some in the 80s, will you write as a oh you can write, will you write as a song? And I said, yeah, okay. And I wrote them a song. And it was a song that was tailored to that band, and it was a song that was tailored to their genre that they played. And it was a good song, but it wasn't. It had nothing inspirational in it. It was not. I didn't think it was a good song. To me, they loved it. They loved it, but I thought it was just like I wouldn't like putting my name to that really, because I wasn't moved by anything. I just had
Does
to.
it still exist?
Do they still exist?
The song?
The song still exists, yeah.
Where?
Uh, in my head, it may even be written down somewhere. I may have it written down somewhere. I can't really remember.
What did it go like?
Oh, what was it called? I'll think on that and I'll remember it in a minute. Long After You've Gone, it was called. Long After You've Gone.
How did it go? Okay.
I can't remember. I think it was Look at Me, I'm Nobody. If you like me, call me John. I was here a long time before you came. I'll be here long after you've gone. Here long after
That's
you've gone.
that sounds pretty cool.
Well, I can't remember. I mean, it was a long time ago. I can't remember the rest of it. But anyway, they loved it. They thought it was fabulous. They thought it was fabulous. And it got played to audiences, and the audiences seemed to like it. And then the usual thing happened. They all fell out and the band broke up. You can't keep bands together. You just can't keep bands together. You know, they'll fall out. They'll fall out over their shares for the imaginary royalty.
Oasis.
You know, I've had so much experience of that. You know,
I had a dream last night that I was at home, which makes sense because I was at home at the weekend, and Tom York walked by the house and just kind of walked in.
really,
Yeah.
I would like to meet him actually, find out what he's like.
And say what?
I play fake plastic trees all the time on the internet. I drag fake plastic trees up and play that video. I love it. I love the video. I love the song.
Hmm.
I first heard that coming back from a gig in the back of a van. I think I was driving. I was driving the van, or maybe Jasper was driving the van. We're coming back. We both two bands in the van, both been to Doncaster to play a gig in Doncaster, and the lead of the other band picked up an acoustic guitar and played it and sang it in the back of the van, and sang it beautifully. And I was blown away by it. And I said, "Is that one of yours?" And he said, "No, no, it's Radiohead." And I'd never heard of it or Radiohead at that time. They were just starting. And that's why I eventually, years and years and years later, went to see them at Bridlington. So there you go.
I haven't really been to any very gigs of very big bands.
Well, that would be very difficult to do nowadays
Yeah,
because
because
most
I'm
bands,
not a millionaire.
well, yeah, and the fact that most bands nowadays have a very short life. I mean, a band that's
Yeah.
together for 5 years is really getting long in the tooth nowadays. Don't you think?
Well, the biggest like biggest physically gig I've gone to was my first one
Mm.
when I went to see 5 Seconds of Summer when I was about
I,
50.
I remember.
Um, and it was okay. I was a very anxious child slash teenager. Ooh, I
You were.
can't I can't talk about age right now. Um,
Oh, when is your happening? It's
my my birthday
tomorrow, isn't it?
tomorrow.
On the morrow, and you will be the huge age of 1 year older than you are now. But only
22.
I know you'll be 22, don't worry.
22.
Oh, how tragic. God, I wish I was 22.
I wish I
I wish
was
I was
20.
52. There you go. That's how it gets, honey. That's how it gets.
I wish I could stay 21 forever.
Hmm. Well,
It felt like my right age.
don't we all?
Yeah, I guess
Hmm.
probably.
Music.
Actually, music. Do we have to go back to music?
There we go.
I saw Five Sauce and they were pretty good. I was 15 at the time
Hmm.
and a big fan girl, so yeah, and they're still doing stuff, I think. Um, I bought tickets the other day, £40
You said
to see Bikini Kill, I think next June.
next June.
Yeah.
Wait, where at?
The Leeds Brunel or the Leeds O2 somewhere. Um, but I have this nifty little app where you can get gig tickets. It's at the O2 in Leeds.
Right.
But it also connects to this looks like an ad now, but it connects to your Spotify and tells you like when people you like are playing. The Osric Tentacles and Gong are playing at Brunel on the 20th of March.
Oh, really? Really? I should go to that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Should go to that. Having met the Osricks many years ago, and
I went to see them recently
I know, I remember. Yeah.
ago and they were real good. Like
Ah,
they got me dancing like
music.
it's
Yeah,
real.
right. I never Glastonbury. I'd never heard of them. Right. I knew there was a band called the Osricks that was on at Glastonbury because I'd seen it on the program, but I'd never really heard any of the music.
Well, I think actually that's where I stole this cup.
Is it really?
Yes, because they were at the Crescent. Um, I've been listening to them since I was a baby. So
You were, yeah. We used to play it. We used to play it to you, and you.
their name, the Osric Tentacles, are name dropped in. Oh, I don't think they're name dropped,
And I told.
but it talks about trippy music in my autism diagnosis.
Yeah. Can I tell my
So
full story?
that's how cool I am.
You're not going to let me. I know you are. Yeah. Are you
Huh?
going to tell my Osric tentacle story?
Yes, go ahead.
I was wandering around Glastonbury with a guy who was I only found out later was very, very well known. He was a guy called John Pendragon, and he was selling magazines. I think he was selling Village Voice or something, and I was selling
The
Eleanora
Pagan.
Voices. Uh,
Is that the Pagan magazine?
yeah, pagan magazine, and we got together and wandered around and chatted for ages. And I used to meet him at Glastonbury just about every time I went. And
Hmm.
I also met him at a festival in Beverley, ridiculously. He came
That's so weird.
and I jumped up and ran over to him. And of course, he's a bit vague, was John all the time because of the vast amounts of chemicals he used to absorb. Uh,
Hmm.
but he said to me, "Do you want to come and see the Osricks? I'm going to see the Osricks now. Do you want to come?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And I thought he meant that he was going to go and see him on stage. What he meant was he knew them and he was going to go to their caravan. which was like a sort of yurt come caravan come camper thing. And we walked in there, and there they were, and we sat down and did what you did at festivals in those days.
That I don't think you can talk about on YouTube.
Oh no, you probably can't. That's why I didn't mention it. Uh, yeah, so I met the Osmonds. Many, 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 many,
That's cool.
many.
I think it's only one dude that's still the same.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I mean there were. It was always known that people came in and
yeah,
people went back, and the lineup changed all the time. But there's a lot of bands like that. There's been a lot of bands like that.
yeah.
Mm. I
They
think
were
I
very
think
fun to be at.
the music world has changed enormously since the advent of the internet. Since,
Yeah,
since
hugely. Anyone can make music now, which is good and bad.
oh, it's so much easier with fully digital equipment. Well,
Hmm.
digital equipment, you don't need any equipment. All you need is a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Porter studio, a thing we did a lot with was Porter Studios, and even the Porter Studio has been. You get a Porter Studio on the computer now, and it's so easy to use and so
Yeah.
seamlessly edited that you can be really
Well,
creative.
I think you still
Problem
need to
is,
be quite good though.
oh, you get better. You get better all the time. You get better all the time. It's just practice, practice, practice. But the problem is that we've got all this wonderful equipment to make music with, but a lot of people don't have very much idea of what to do. There's so
Oh,
much,
some people do.
I think there's so much mediocre music about today,
True.
so much. Whereas previously, in the pre-computer days, if you were mediocre, you didn't even get looked at.
Yeah.
You
What
put
do you think?
and that's just
What do you
go on.
what do you think of industry plants?
Industry
Plants in
plan
the music industry when there's a band that's quite obviously
create
they have
a band that's been
yeah,
created by the music industry. But they're all created by the music industry nowadays. There's very,
yeah,
there's very little independent music, you know, uh,
true.
because people used to get people used to go play a gig, and at the gig would be men called A&R men, artists and repertoire, and they
Hmm.
watch the band, and they would try to suss out whether they thought they could make any money out of that band. And if they did think they could make money out of that band, they would try and sign them to a contract. And
We've got 10 minutes left.
yeah, just a minute, I've lost you.
Oh no.
That's right, we're back. They would try and sign you to a contract. And when they signed you to a contract, the band got what was called an advance, which was an advance payment, which everybody used to think was a gift. But the fact is, all the record company was doing was acting as your banker and giving you a loan. And you were
Hmm.
expected to pay that loan off. And everything, every time they sent you a Rolls Royce to pick you up, they were charging you for it. Every time they advertised your gigs, they were charging you for it. And so bands ended up paying the majority of their money to the record company. I mean, record companies would even own people's songs, right?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, but you wrote that when you were our employee, so we own that song, and we can sell that song to anybody we like, and we can rent it out for other people to. Right? People have had terrible trouble getting their back catalogue back, getting ownership of their own work again. So that part of the music industry has been largely destroyed by the coming of the internet. Right?
Yeah.
But there's still what they're doing now is creating throwaway bands for all they're worth, because it's the only way they can make money. The reason why there's so many tours going on and so many festivals going on is because it's one of the only ways that the band can actually get a performance and get paid for it.
To be
Because
fair though, I
record
went
sales, recorded music sales are like they've just evaporated. They're not real
I,
anymore.
I went to a gig recently.
Mm.
It was OD Lee. It was a very good gig, supported by Philip Brooks. And she was saying that that they are hardly going to break even on because they're American,
Yeah,
or at least OD is. They're not gonna like be able to. She's basically paying to do the like Europe tour
yeah, yeah.
because it's that expensive.
Because it all used to be based on record sales.
Yeah.
People used to buy millions and millions of records, and people used to go to live gigs, and the live gigs were what sold the records. Now the live gigs just sell the live gigs. Right? All the music is downloaded for pennies, and
Yeah.
most of the pennies get kept by the music biz, and very little gets to the artist, which is why people are cutting themselves off from the music biz and becoming independent producers of music, uh, and trying to make a living out of it. This is partly why we've got no super groups anymore, no massive names that have been going for 20 years, because
Well,
it's
there's
money.
people that probably will be.
Oh, perhaps, but there just isn't the money involved in the industry anymore.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah. Isn't
And people like that who are like internationally famous
uh,
that will probably stick around.
oh yeah, because they're an American industrial, aren't
Hmm.
they're just promoted all over the world. But who controlled? I mean, does she make recorded media or is it purely downloadable now? There's no CDs anymore, is there?
That's not true. There are CDs.
There are CDs.
Everyone sells
People are still
CDs
selling
because
CDs.
it's so vintage to have a CD player.
Yeah.
It's so vintage to have a vinyl player. So everyone sells CDs. Everywhere sells vinyls. Places sell tapes.
Yeah, I know there's places that sell tapes. Tapes are coming back, believe it or not. But vinyl has certainly made a comeback.
Hmm.
And once again, it's a way of having a commodity that you can sell rather than a commodity that is just stolen by the record company and uh,
Yeah,
put on download for pennies.
yeah. Another merchandise.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, shall we draw to a close?
Yes. What was that? Whoa.
The end is nigh.
Whoa.
Right. Okay. Thank
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.
you.
Ring that bell. Um,
Oh, you're so good.
comment. Comment your opinions on music. Comment your opinions on us. Comment how you want us dead in a ditch.
I don't think they do that.
No, everyone's been very nice. Thank you so much.
Right. I found the end. I'm peering around the screen. I've found the end button. Oh,
Okay.
you haven't. You just stopped.
No, I just figured out I could move my image around.
Bye
Goodbye.
bye, everybody. Bye bye. That was
It's
great.
still recording.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It says recording.
Oh, end meeting for all.
No, end
It,
the recording.
it just said end. Oh, oh.
It's
I can't stop it.
Is it in the top left?
Top left. Meeting information recording.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I've clicked end.
It says it's still recording for me.
I know it does.
Is it in the middle at the
Oh no,
bottom?
it's all gone wrong now.
I've only done this twice before. It's
I
fine.
know, it worked perfectly.
Is it in the middle at the bottom?
In the middle at the bottom, share screen. Pause, stop record.